Bonjour à tous. Welcome everyone to this third day of the virtual conference on the commercialization of disruptive technologies. Aujourd'hui, l'auditoire sera surtout canadien et américain et nous mettrons en valeur l'écosystème français de Rennes. Toutes les sessions seront en anglais, à l'exception de la présentation de Rennes après la pause qui sera traduite. Welcome everyone to this third day of our virtual summit. We hope that you are enjoying it so far. Welcome to our American friends. They're keeping us on the edge of our seat with this nail-biter election. We're convinced that the democratic process will run its course peacefully. We will be doing a draw on Friday to give away 6 copies per territory of Paul Millier's books. We are convinced that that you will definitely enjoy the Marketing the Unknown book that was published by Wiley, and we will be drawing that on Friday. We invite you to check the survey, chat, and questions sections of the conference that appear on the right-hand side of the live video stream. We invite you to send your questions, and we promise that we will try to address all of them. Without further ado, I will introduce Paul Millier, who will explain today his proprietary methodology for segmenting future innovative markets. So enjoy the day, everyone. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Very happy to be with you today, and I hope it's the same for you and that you will learn a lot from this session. So just as a reminder, I would like to remind that on the Monday we have seen managing technology startups. And we have seen that one of the characteristics of the innovation was the uncertainty. Apparently, it's not specific to the innovation because the American election are also dealing with some uncertainty. Yesterday, we have seen the marketing of innovation, and we have seen that the marketing of innovation is specific marketing, different from the mainstream in marketing. Today will be dedicated to segmenting non-existing market, and really for me the segmentation is the heart of the marketing process. So that's why we are dealing with this subject today. And on Friday we shall see some cases to illustrate the principle that we have seen today. So let's start then with the marketing segmentation. The marketing segmentation, well, actually that's a small advertisement for one of my books in French called Segmenter les marchés du futur, presenting the method that I shall present to you today. So the objective of this session is, this afternoon session, is for you to be one of the happy few able to segment non-existing markets and to understand what is a real marketing segmentation. And honestly, that is not only a way of saying, because after 40 years dedicated to the innovation in my professional life, I have a conviction. This conviction is that 80% of marketing troubles in the companies are coming from a bad segmentation and sometimes from a lack of segmentation, because actually really very few people are really able to make a real marketing segmentation. So that's the challenge of today, to be one of the happy few. The agenda for today, so we shall start with an introduction to the segmentation and to what the segmentation is. Then we shall discover the segmentation principles for segmenting non-existing markets, because I'm reminding you that we are in the framework of the innovation, and in this case, the market is not existing yet. So maybe you understand easily that it's not easy to segment a market when the market exists, but you imagine that it's a bigger challenge to segment the market when it does not exist. And this is my daily cup of tea. It has been my daily cup of tea for 40 years now, segmenting non-existing markets for non-existing products. So we shall discover after the technical segmentation, because the segmentation will be split into two parts, the technical segmentation on the one hand, and the behavioral segmentation on the other hand, and we shall explain further on the meaning of these two expressions. Once we have carried out the technical segmentation and the behavioral segmentation, we shall construct the segmentation matrix to get a comprehensive vision of the market, and then we shall see how to use the segmentation to construct a marketing strategy. So let's start with the introduction. First, instead of segmentation, I would like to introduce a new word to use. This word is the name of the method that I have developed for segmenting non-existing market. This name is segmentuition. So we shall use today segmentuition rather than segmentation. And why that? Why that? Because what do you understand by segmentuition? What do you understand? I guess that if you are like 90% of the people I am meeting in the classrooms, you will understand two words, intuition and segmentation. And if you have understood intuition and segmentation, the goal is achieved because you have understood the concept behind the name. And I would like to propose you something that you will bear in mind all the rest of your life. If you want to be successful with one of your innovations, give it a name. Give it a name because what has no name does not exist in the client's mind. But what kind of name? Obviously, if you give the name COVID-19, that's not a name. That's a nomenclature name, but that's not a name for an innovation. You must give a name so that the clients can understand the concept behind the name without further explanation. For instance, a good name for a razor blade is Mach 3. Actually, it's a real good name, Mach 3, because what do you understand by Mach 3? You understand that you will shave your face quickly, Mach 3, the speed of the sound, 3 times the speed of the sound, and 3 stands for 3 blades. So in just one word, you have understood the concept hidden behind the word. So bear that in mind. If you want to be successful with one of your innovations, give it a name so that the client can understand the concept behind the name without further explanation. And if the clients have understood the concept, no need to explain. It's twice easier to sell the product to the clients who have understood the concept. So what does it mean really, segmentuition? So we understand that the intuition is in the right brain and the segmentation is in the left brain. And actually, yes, on the one hand, we shall have an intuitive method, and on the other hand, we shall have a systematic and analytical method. And the spirit of the segmentuition is to make a good mix between intuition and rational and analytical methods. So why that? First, let's focus on the intuition and the intuitive method. Where did this idea come from? You know, I told you that I've been working in the innovation for 40 years, and after working so many times with entrepreneurs and innovators, I have never ever seen one entrepreneur using complex software for analyzing their market data. So on what do they rely to segment their market, to have a vision of their market? They rely on their intuition. And the intuition is related to the gut feeling. You know, you really feel with your guts that there is a market. You really feel with your gut that there is something to do. And we used to say that the guts are the second brain in the body. So honestly, I think you can rely on your second brain, the guts, your guts. The advantage of the intuition that it is that you can use it with very few information, very few pieces of information. No need to have big data to get an intuition on something. And the other advantage of the intuition method is that you get a quick result. You get a quick result, but the problem is that if it is quick, it is also dirty. So it is quick and dirty, but anyway, it is existing. And as from here, you can use this existing first result to go through a series of logical tests, the systematic and analytical methods, for convincing your partners, for convincing your banker, for convincing your colleague that your intuition is right. As Henri Poincaré, a famous scientist, used to put, you prove with your logic, but you discover with your intuition. So in the case of the entrepreneurship, do not hesitate to rely on your intuition, but you cannot base everything on your intuition. You must improve, you must rationalize your intuition to get some conviction with your partners. So that's all the meaning of the segmentation. Beware. In philosophy, we say the map is not the terrain. What does it mean? It means, let's be clear, the segmentation exists only in the manager's mind. You know, they are not red lines around a block of buildings saying this is the segment of this or that. No, the segmentation exists only in the manager's mind. It's the manager's vision. And it is very fortunate because as something appears is always a matter of perspective. And according to your point of view, you will see in this reality this or that according to your point of view. And that's really a piece of luck for the entrepreneurs, because if Schlumberger has this vision of the market, Biospace Lab and Georges Charpak will have this vision. So in the case of the innovation and the entrepreneurship, it's really deciding to look at your market with a different point of view, to change the rule so that if you are the David, you can win the Goliath. So the segmentation is really a critical weapon for fighting against the Goliath. So now let's have a look at the final result. The final result of the segmentation is a segmentation matrix. In the column of the segmentation matrix, we shall find what we call the applications. The second dimension of the segmentation matrix will be called behaviors. And in the non-empty boxes of the segmentation matrix, we shall find the marketing segments. So to be clear, a marketing segment is a group of clients sharing the same values, sharing the same technical problem to be fixed, sharing the same behavior, And a segment is a group of clients because only clients purchase something from you. So in other words, a segment is not, you cannot call a segment ultra-fine glass wool or baby nappies or whatever. That's a product, and a product does not buy an offer from you. Only clients purchase offer from you. So groups of clients, homogeneous group of clients sharing values. So the applications are related to for what the clients need a new solution. For doing what do they need a new solution? And we shall define the applications as a technical problem to be fixed. So in other words, your clients have a technical problem to be fixed to which they need a solution. That's the application, the technical problem. The behavior is related to why do they need something new to fix their problem. But why these two dimensions? So it's you could say it's just a statement, but let's justify why these two dimensions. First, let's have a look at the applications. Why are the applications necessary in segmenting the market of an innovation? You can trust my experience. After 40 years in this business, I have never seen one innovation succeeding just because the clients like you. In other words, the clients do not purchase a product from you because they like you. It's important that they like you, because if they do not like you, they will reject your offer, maybe. But if they have no technical problem to fix, no need to purchase an innovation. So no application, no problem, no success for your innovation. So that's the first reason why for the applications, the columns of the matrix. Now, let's have a look at the behavior. So this concept of behavior is a little bit more difficult to understand, especially for most of entrepreneurs who have a technical background. But anyway, you will understand with a very simple example why it is also necessary to deal with the client's behavior. This example that I would like to take, it is a very simple example that I have at home. It's a very simple example, but it bothers me because it's a bit troublesome. And what is this problem? My dishwasher is leaking. You know, that's a very simple problem, but it's a problem. So the problem to be fixed is my dishwasher is leaking. There is a leak to the dishwasher. So the plumber who learns that my dishwasher is leaking is saying to himself, oh my God, a dishwasher leaking, but how many dishwashers are there in the province of Quebec? 4 clicks on internet and they find that there are 10 million dishwashers in the province of Quebec. He knows from his experience that a dishwasher is leaking once every 10 years, so which means that every year there are 1 million leaks in the province of Quebec. Wow, he says to himself, I never realized that there is such a big market in this province, so I shall set up a branch of my company in every big town, and I specialize myself in dishwasher leaking, and I am communicating on the fact that I am an expert in dishwasher leaking. But there is a little problem for the plumber. This plumber is forgetting something. He forgets that I am a lazy man. And what do I do as a lazy man? I put a bucket under my dishwasher every day, and I promise to myself to call the plumber tomorrow. But you know what I mean? I'm very busy, and when I come back home, I open my kitchen's door, and the first thing that I see is this ugly green bucket under the dishwasher, and I say to myself, oh my God, I've forgotten to call the plumber. I empty the bucket in the sink and I promise to myself to call the plumber tomorrow. And tomorrow, again and again and again, I never call the plumber. So there is no more the plumber with lazy man. He does not know that I am a handyman. So what do? On my way back home, I stop at the DIY shop, I buy a gasket, and I change the gasket with my fingers and my tool. No need to call the plumber, I am a handyman. He does not know that I am a rich man, you know, I am a famous consultant, and as a rich man, what do? I call the next retailer and I ask them to deliver the best dishwasher as soon as possible. I do not call the plumber. He does not know that I am a don't care about. I don't care about, you know, because there is a hole in the corner of my kitchen to collect the wastewater. So leaks or no leaks, as long as the dishwasher is working, I let it work. And I do not call the plumber. So you realize that in this case, there is no competition. So bear that in mind. The competition is not only the company who is doing the same product or you, the same product as you. Sometimes when the clients decide to do nothing, it's a kind of competition for you because you cannot break into this market. So the real competition is what makes you impossible to break into a market. The plumber ignores that I am a greedy man. So what do? Oh, now every day I am inviting my wife to the restaurant. So no kitchen at home, no dishwashing, no leaks to the dishwasher. I do not call the plumber. So only in the last case, when I am neither lazy nor on demand nor rich nor don't care about and so on, I pick up my phone and I call the plumber to ask him to come when he has a minute to spend with me. So you see, in this case, there is one technical problem. But even if there is a technical problem, we cannot say that we have a market. Even if this problem is occurring 1 million times per year, we cannot say that the market is 1 million leaks per year because we have 6 different behaviors. You see, the clients have different behavior and fix their problem in different way. So you realize that the first segment is accessible to the bucket manufacturer, the second segment to the gasket manufacturer, the third segment to the dishwasher manufacturers, the fourth segment to nobody, once again, impossible to break in. The fifth segment to the restaurant, only the sixth segment is for the plumber. But how big is this segment? It's definitely not 1 million. We do not know if it is 500,000 leaks or 5,000, but it is definitely not 1 million leaks per year. So if you just rely on the technical problem to be fixed, there is the risk of a major marketing mistake on your market size. Therefore, your business plan is down, is wrong. So that's the justification for caring about the client's behavior. But now let's have a look at another central point in the presentation, the marketing segmentation. What is a real marketing segmentation? So to illustrate, I shall take the example of a device that we shall call non-destructive tester using pulse laser. Oh, you will say, my friend, what is it? So what is a non-destructive tester? You know what it is because when you fell down, your arm is painful, so you go to the hospital, you have an X-ray, and they say, whoa, the arm is broken. So nasty broke, but they did not cut your arm into 2 pieces to say that your arm is broken or not. That would be a destructive test. So a non-destructive test consists of looking throughout something to see a defect inside this thing. So in the case of industrial parts, how do they do to detect a defect inside the parts? There is a very simple way of doing it. It's sticking an electromagneto-acoustic probe on the surface of the part. This probe is vibrating and it is sending an ultrasound throughout the part. This ultrasound is rebounding on the face of the part, and when you pick up the output signal with another probe, when you compare the input signal and the output signal, you can say that the part is safe, is good, or wrong. So this way of doing is very simple, very easy, very well known in the industry. It is very cheap, but in some cases, there are some limits. It does not work. For instance, if the part is moving at a high speed, you cannot stick the probe on the surface. If the part is red hot because it is coming out an oven, you cannot stick the probe on the surface. If the part is huge as a big boat hull, you cannot stick a gauge every meter. So some clever engineers thought about a non-contact device using a pulse laser. So what is it? You can imagine a pulse laser. A laser, you send us a laser on the surface of the part, and as the laser beam is pulsed, sometimes it is warming up the surface, sometimes it is cooling down. It's just an image to simplify, to let you understand the concept. So this quick cycle of warming up and cooling down is equivalent to an ultrasound. So the laser beam is generating an ultrasound throughout the part, but with no contact. That's the principle of the non-destructive tester using pulse laser. When I have discovered this device, wow, it was a complex device with lasers everywhere, micrometers, interferometers. The system, there was a heap of spaghetti of optical fiber everywhere. It was laying on a marble table weighing 5 tons. My God, it was a gas factory. This lab prototype was a gas factory. So the company who was running this project asked me to carry out a market survey to understand who could be the clients for this technological device. So we started the survey, and we had found something like 10 segments, but I picked up only 2 segments to illustrate what is a marketing segmentation. In the first segment, we had found EIDS and Boeing. EIDS, it's Airbus, if you want. Airbus and Boeing. In the second segment, we had found Volkswagen and Renault. What name could we give to these 2 segments? So what is common sense is to call the first segment aeronautics and the second segment automotive industry. But unfortunately, or very fortunately, when we carry out other interviews, we find that Renault, the very same Renault, is also in the first segment. Wow, that's a bit dodgy. What name can we give to these 2 segments? Can we keep the name aeronautics for the first segment? And can we keep the name automotive for the second segment when the car manufacturer is in other segments? So there is something a bit dodgy in this situation. So we must go deeper in the understanding of who are the clients. So to understand that, I shall be giving you some more details about the client's characteristics and needs. So in the first segment, the clients are working in research and development labs. They are working on composite materials. And listen to this sentence, they are looking for a unique solution at any price to fix a tricky problem to which they have found no solution so far. In other words, they have tried all the existing products and nothing works. So they are looking for a new solution, a radically new solution. And what is this tricky problem? It's to describe defects within the composite materials. And why do they look for a solution at any price to this problem? It's because if they cannot describe the defects in many details in the composite materials, they do not know how to modify their manufacturing process to improve the quality of the parts that they will make in the future. So it is a bottleneck. As they cannot describe the defect, they cannot switch to manufacturing. So no manufacturing, no business, it's a bottleneck. In the second segment, they are working in mass production workshop. They are working on a metallic material, steel and so on. What do they look for? Well, they have a solution that is working really properly. It is the electromagnetoacoustic probe that we have seen formerly, and they look for a cheaper solution. So you understand, the solution works, but they are just looking for a cheaper solution. No real technical problem to fix, but a cheaper solution. And what does it mean cheap? Less than $0.1 per test. What is the problem to be fixed? It's just to detect defects inside the parts, to keep or discard the parts in the process. If there is a defect within the parts, we discard it. If there is no defect, if the part is good, we keep it for some further manufacturing, right? That we have all these details for describing the segments. What can we do out of that? Let's have a look at the marketing strategy that we can design in every single segment. In the first segment, what kind of product can we sell? Well, actually, the lab prototype, even if it's a complex prototype, can fit with the R&D labs because it is their daily cup of tea to deal with a complex system with fine-tuning. It is their daily cup of tea, so they can deal with the lab prototype. At what price will you sell the product? Oh, you come to the client saying that it is a second-to-none technology, it's the latest technology in the world, it's using a laser. You cannot sell that for cheap. You must charge the clients as much as possible. Let's say $500,000 for this second-to-none device. Now, who will be your contact in the client's premises? Well, if you want to sell a lab prototype at that price, I think the person who has the problem is the R&D lab. So you must contact the chief research officer because he is facing this tricky problem to which they have found no solution so far. And what kind of argument will you use for selling your product? Presumably, you will have to use some scientific and technical arguments. If you want to be more serious, you can talk about gradient. You see what I mean? The field gradient of thermo alternate constraint within the part. Wow, that's serious. And who will you send to sell your product? Who will you send to sell a lab prototype at that price to a chief research officer using so complex arguments for selling? I think that if you want to be consistent, the best salesperson to send is the inventor of the engineer who has invented the system, because only the inventor will be able to speak with conviction of this second-to-none technology. Now let's have a look at the second segment, and let's have a look at the the marketing strategy that we can design to break into this second segment. If you close your to see better, what kind of product shall we sell to the clients of the second segment? Obviously, we shall sell a simple product. You see, what we call a black box. A black box, it's a very simple device with only two lights, red light, green light. Red means bad, green means good. So a black box, simple device, easy to use. At what price will you sell it? Well, you have a clue as to how much to fix your price. The clue is coming from the incumbent technology, the electromagnetic probe. The performance, the criterion that the clients are using for estimating the performance of your product is the price at $0.1 per test. So you know that it is their reference. So the only way to sell is lower than $0.1, $0.09 per test. So you realize when you compare the prices that on the left-hand side you are selling $500,000 heavy-duty equipment for a lab. On the right-hand side you are selling an operation cost. So on the left-hand side it's capex. On the right-hand side it is opex. You see the strategy is completely different. The dimension of the strategies are completely different. So who will you contact to sell a black box to save money in the company? Obviously, you will have to contact the purchase department because if you look at the clients, if you remember the clients who are in this segment, we said Volkswagen and Renault. They are car manufacturers. In the car manufacturing, the purchaser are the point of entry in the company for the supplier. So you must contact the purchase department and the quality control department because they will have to assess your product. And you can guess that the purchase department will haggle on price. We'll discuss about the competition, we'll discuss about the availability, we'll discuss about the after-sales service. So what will be your argument? Cheap, reliable, plug and play, after-sales service, so on. And who will be the best salesperson to sell a black box at a low price to a purchaser? In this case, if you want to be consistent, you really must to send a pure salesperson. I think that our Canadian friend know this guy called Jean-Claude Langevin. He is presented in a broadcast as the typical pure salesperson. So now that we have seen all this stuff, what name sticking to the reality would make sense? So if you look at description of the clients in the segment, what would make sense in the first segment is R&D labs, composite R&D labs. That makes sense when you consider the client's description. And in the second segment, what would make sense is control quality in mass production of metallic parts. That makes sense because you can recognize from outside the clients. It fits with the description that we have given of the segment, and it is also relevant because now you can go to a database, count how many composite R&D labs are in North America. There are, for instance, 300, and go on databases to find how many workshops of metal part manufacturing there are in North America, and there are 50,000. So you can count how many clients are in every segment so you can decide the size of your market. But now let's ask a question. Why do companies name so often their segments as aeronautic and automotive? Try to think about this question. Why do they name so often their segment as aeronautic and automotive? Just because it is common sense. It is common sense because all the databases, even the yellow page directory, are organized by industry. So you see the silly marketing mistake that we are doing when we name our segment as aeronautic or automotive is that we start from existing databases instead of starting from the field, because the description that I have given for the client is coming from field information. So the mistake is to start from existing databases to name the segment instead of starting from the field information. And to finish with, why is this a real marketing segmentation? Marketing segmentation. Well, it is a real marketing segmentation because giving the names of the segments, you have seen that we have been able to design a marketing strategy to break into the segments. And you realize that both strategies are completely different from each other, and no need to be an expert to understand that it makes sense. The left-hand side strategy will fit with the segment number 1, and the right-hand side strategy will fit with the segment number 2. So that is a real marketing segmentation, because you can draw the marketing strategy straight from the marketing segmentation. If you cannot do this exercise, drawing the marketing strategy from the segmentation, it is not a segmentation. It is just dividing your market into industries, and you realize that the boundaries of the segments are not the same as the boundaries of the industry in this case. So that's what it means, making an original segmentation and a specific segmentation specific to your project. Because aeronautic and automotive is a kind of segmentation made for other than you, for other products than you, and for another purpose than selling a non-destructive tester using a pulse laser. So I think we have achieved the end of this first block, and I will give the microphone to Mrs. Saint-Pierre for some questions from the participants.
Thank you very much, Mr. Millier. So we don't have any specific question on this particular block, so I'll just throw leftover one from yesterday when we discussed pricing policy. So the question is, isn't price sensibility even more important in the context of co-development to create a win-win situation? Mr. Millier?
Yes, it is true that the price is quite an issue in the case of co-development. But to really understand the meaning of my answer, I would like you to remember that when we are in co-development, we are in the transitory state, in the transitory stage. And if you remember what we said yesterday, we said that the transitory stage is a stage during which you learn from the client and you educate the client. You also remember that we said yesterday with diesel that there is a life for the technology before the product life cycle. So the condition of pricing during the transitory stage are pretty much different from the condition in exploitation during the life cycle. What does it mean? It means that in co-development, first, you can charge nothing. You can charge the clients for nothing because the deal is elsewhere than winning money. But you can also set a symbolic price because even if you lose money during this co-development, the aim of co-developing the project with the client is not to earn money now. It's to earn competencies and knowledge that you will be able to use again after when you will be in exploitation. So the price is quite an issue, but we must absolutely not consider the price in the same condition during the transitory state and the exploitation phase.
Thank you, Mr. Millier. And I guess I have another question which will set the table for the next segment, and then I'll let you continue on the next segment. But the question is how to measure the intensity of the need. It can be easy to see problems and want to find solutions, but how can we prioritize the needs we want to meet?
That's another good question. So actually the segmentation is just one point, one step in a market survey. So I cannot go in deeper details, but in a market survey there are 4 steps. The first step is data collection. So it's collecting data from the field. The second step is the segmentation. It's interpreting the data for giving a vision of the market, a description, a comprehensive description of the market. But the segmentation is just a method for describing the market. At this step of the market survey, we do assessment on the segment to say if they are good or not, to say if the problem intensity is high or low. We do this during the next step called the diagnosis. So during the 2 days presentation, I shall not deal with the diagnosis, but on a Friday with the case of Calogy solution, we shall explain what is the diagnosis and how we can use this diagnosis for passing a judgment on every segment to choose the segments to start with. So the problem intensity is assessed during the step after the segmentation called the diagnosis.